Well, according to Israeli officials, the current problems with the Palestinians will not be discussed unless France brings it up, unless Macron brings this up, which he undoubtedly will bring up. The French president has called for calm a few days ago, said that nothing should be done to exacerbate the current tensions between Israel and the Palestinians. So this will probably be somewhat of an issue here, although the problem with Iran is going to be the main topic, according to both French and Israeli officials. Israel is trying to, Prime Minister Netanyahu is trying to put together a military coalition to try to see if they can stop the Iranian nuclear program. That is likely to be discussed, of course, but there are many reticences from Western countries to participating in such a coalition, military coalition, which would be a declaration of war, of course.
Now, we've been talking here in studio about the focus here right now about strengthening the Abraham Accords. It is top of mind in this part of the world, especially with the latest progress between Israel and Sudan and Israel and Chad. How could the French leader help Israel in any way in its efforts to expand the circle of peace in this region? Your thoughts?
Well, with regards to African countries such as Chad, although France has diminishing influence in that area, it still does have quite a bit of influence. It has quite a few contacts, and I think that Paris could play a role in persuading other African countries to follow the example of Chad. So that is somewhere where France could be useful in doing that. With regards to Sudan, I think that the French influence there is less so. But there is a place for Paris in Africa, even though French influence is, as we have seen in Mali and Burkina Faso now in the last few days, is diminishing.
And Eduardo, we're looking at our screens right now at live images. We are expecting to see images later on of the Prime Minister of Israel and the French President shaking hands, engaging with one another. Talk to us about the significance of these optics for France right now. What does it mean for the French leader to be having these discussions with the Israeli Prime Minister, who has been at the helm again for just over a month?
That's right. Well, Prime Minister Netanyahu has come to Paris many, many times. We've covered it in the past. One of the things that is unusual about this particular summit, if you want to call it that way, is number one, that it really comes as a surprise. It was announced only a few days ago. It was perhaps decided just on Sunday when President Macron and Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke on the phone. And the other surprise here is that this is a very long visit. Usually, the Prime Minister, the Israeli Prime Minister, comes to Paris for 1 day, meets with the president, may meet with some French Jewish leaders, and leaves. This is a much longer trip, including a dinner tonight. What you are seeing there on the screen is the Republican Guard at the main entrance to the Elysee Palace, waiting for the Prime Minister. That's normal procedure. But there will be a dinner tonight, and Netanyahu is scheduled to remain here in France until Saturday evening. That's quite a long trip. He's going to meet with Jewish leaders and with business leaders. So it's an important visit. And for Macron, who is usually trying always to play some sort of role in international affairs, whether it be with the war in Ukraine or in the Middle East, this is an important meeting at a time when he is in very serious trouble domestically here in France. It also shows that for Israel, France is an important country and a country that can play a role, even though a limited one, in the conflict in the Middle East.